Hi guys, how's it going? It's Clarisse with That Dumb Movie Show, and look here, it's another live-action Disney remake. Right on schedule. This is our reality now. And to open with my general opinion on these things, I'm pretty ambiguous. I'm a little hesitant but not vehemently against them because these are classic stories and they have the potential to uncover new things or to be seen in a different light. I think some of the ones we've seen so far have been pretty successful in that. I actually really liked the Kenneth Branagh Cinderella because he put this, ultra romantic, almost Jane Austen-esque spin on it, and there was this emphasis on, kindness through adversity that wasn't really present in the original. And then on the other hand, I have very little time for the Beauty and the Beast remake because that is it's just a shot-for-shot remake, and there are zero new ideas outside of that totally throwaway new song. So where does Tim Burton's Dumbo fit into all of that? Definitely on the better side. It's a new take from a different perspective, and it's trying to find new things to say, but with plenty of homages to the original. I mean, the story hits many of the same plot points. We open on Mrs. Jumbo, the elephant, who gives birth to a new little baby, and the baby has these big giant ears, so he's called Dumbo, and he's made fun of, and he's forced to perform with the clowns, but then he discovers that he can fly, and so he discovers his potential, and I'm hoping everyone already knows that, and then that's not a spoiler. The biggest difference here obviously is that because it's a live action movie, there's a bigger emphasis on the human characters. Specifically, Colin Farrell plays this guy called Holt Farrier, who is a former circus star who's returned from war having had his arm amputated, and he's returning to his two young children, Millie and Joe, played by Tandy Newton's absolute total lookalike clone daughter, Nico Parker, and also Finley Hobbins. And then you've also got Tim Burton's usual squad of collaborators, Team Goth. So you've got Ava Green playing Colette Marchand, the trapeze artist. You've got Michael Keaton playing V.A. Vandevere, the film's villain, and Danny DeVito playing Max Medici, the ringmaster. So it's a pretty packed slate of big characters. The new spin here is that Disney really wants this to be an anti-animal cruelty, pro-animal rights story, so it takes that moment from the original where Dumbo is separated from his mother and just really builds the story around that, including that song, Baby Mine, that makes me cry so much. That becomes the heart of the story, and you have that paralleled in the human characters because Millie and Joe's mother has recently died and they're still very much in shock from that, and it totally works. You really do root for that little elephant. Tim Burton's always had such a good handle on that sense of wonder, on creating those moments of pure magic, and plus you've got Danny Elfman back as the composer, and so those scenes where Dumbo does take flight, you've got the sweeping orchestration and you've got that choir of voices going ah, and it hits you. It hits you in the emotional spot. And the CGI work on Dumbo himself is fantastic. I mean, he's got those very stylized sort of blank, tired, Burton-esque eyes, but the animators still found a way to make him realistic enough that he's believable, and he's cute. He's very cute, and I have a soft spot for when little animals make little squeaky noises, and he does that a lot, and it's cute. I did think that some of the thematic elements were a little bit muddled. I wasn't quite sure what it was trying to say about parents and parental role models, because at the same time this film's kind of about letting go of the things that we hold on to, like our security blankets in whatever form they take, and I think those two themes didn't really mesh well together. But on the other hand, this film finds so much strength in its characters. I mean, these actors find their groove pretty fast. Colin Farrell has been nailing these kinds of burdened dad roles for a while. Ava Green is just living her best life. I love that she got to use her native French accent in this, and I love the way that she says Dumbo. And Danny DeVito is hilarious as always, and Michael Keaton is just doing that slimy, charming salesman type character that he just does so well. I think the one thing I was conscious of with Dumbo is that it does this unfortunate thing that a lot of stories about circuses do, because the circus in the past, it was a refuge for marginalized people, for people who are made to feel like outsiders, but at the same time, kind of exploited them for the things that made them marginalized. So you've got a diverse cast playing these characters who have been defined by a stereotype. So for example, you've got Roshan Seth playing the Indian snake charmer, and that would all work if you gave these characters an opportunity to develop, but they get so few lines that it's kind of a struggle to break out of the stereotype, which this is just a pitfall with these kinds of movies, and I just don't think that Dumbo totally avoids it. So I liked Dumbo, and I have very few criticisms of it, but at the same time, I struggled to get really attached to it. I mean, look, I'm like a gothic, morbid, cheap Wednesday Addams knockoff, so obviously I grew up watching a lot of Tim Burton films, and I love that sensibility and I love that point of view, and I know a lot of his recent work hasn't been very popular, but I really liked Big Eyes and I really liked Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and I love his ability to find warmth and empathy in the monstrous and the frightening, you know, kind of like Guillermo del Toro does. And you are missing that from Dumbo. I mean, on the surface it does seem like a very Tim Burton story because Dumbo is an outcast, but you know, he's not scary, and you know, no one's frightened of Dumbo, and so, you know, I don't know, I just think it's missing that little bit of edge that is so central to who he is as a filmmaker. Dumbo is different, but he's not strange and unusual, which I totally understand is me just nitpicking what is overall a well-made film, but I just couldn't escape that feeling that I was watching a subdued version of Tim Burton. I realize that is not going to bother most people, so overall it is a success. It exists in the successful Disney live-action remake category, so on to the next one, I guess. Aladdin, come at me! But if you've had a chance to see Dumbo, I would love to know what you guys thought. You can let me know down in the comments below, or you can hit me up on Twitter, details down in that description box. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can hang out and talk about movies. I'll see you guys soon. Bye!